Nice to see you all again. Today is Chapter 23, the final outdoors map, the prelude to the endgame, and pretty much the only not complicated as hell level left. Well, again, that's just a half-truth. This chapter does have a lot of quirks to it, but for once, all of these quirks only benefit you. First off, you can just ignore all the children. You get no reward for saving them aside from your own conscience, and if you've made it this far, you probably don't have one left, so just do whatever you please. But, inexplicably, Sias is now under your control, and it's pretty darn important that he lives. You can send a flyer or rescue him, just make sure he survives the chapter. I'd also ignore the houses in the top right. Maybe you want the single physic, but you probably have enough fortifies at this point to last you to the endgame. So I'd just go straight south and around. But there is some resistance to climbing the hills. Farden and his knights will be pursuing Sias and the children down it, and they have some pretty great gear. The three ballista are thankfully the last in the game, and correcting an earlier mistake, they are pathetic poison variants. However, they are supported by Penta-Axe General standing next to him with his charisma. The two dark mages by the Knight Squad have sleep staffs, so you should make sure to deal with them. You'll want those staffs intact. Karuda and his Dragon Knights that arrive on turn 2 won't engage until the boss is dead, but their masses of Horse Slayers can catch you by surprise if you aren't ready, especially since the boss has a suicide range. I say this because the enemy phase when any unit ends within this green area, SETY fucking shows up, insta-kills the boss, and will go on to fucking solo the rest of the map like the grade A badass he is. In fact, if you want, you can just send Sias down a space right at the beginning, then rescue him to trigger this, and then have SETY finish the entire map while you sit back with your beverage of choice. However, I should add that the boss does have a couple wrinkles to him. He picks up a poison tome on turn 5, which is just a massively weaker Fenrir that inflicts poison, what else? And also, if you kill him yourself, SETY doesn't appear. Getting back to the important stuff, SETY can be recruited by simply having Leaf speak to him. But there is another Samson and Aaron dilemma here. You can only have either Sias or SETY. If you get SETY, then Sias will leave at the end of the chapter. So the only way to keep him is to make sure SETY doesn't show up or move SETY out of the way and seize, since he won't move from the throne himself. You don't want Sias though. SETY is miles better than him in every meaningful way. But with all that out of the way, here are the reinforcements. As previously mentioned, the Dragon Knights show up on turn 2, followed by a Ransacking Thief here on turn 3, and then you get random non-rewarping Dark Mages on some yellow tiles and a pair of Corroded Knights on these forts from turns 3 to 10. So you can probably tell from all this that Chapter 23 is pretty much a joke, and it is. Even if you don't turn 1 SETY, there's just not a lot of threat, and the only things that may seem pressing, the houses and the children, are functionally redundant. So I'll just play footage while I talk about each of your new potential allies. Sias is a massive letdown. Mr. 10 leadership stars he is no more, as for some reason he's been nerfed to 5, which drops to 3 after this chapter. Ugh. Sias does have a collection of nice staffs though, which you can just take from him, but also Ace staffs, which is redundant since SETY has that as well. Sias is even pathetic at combat due to having 0 PCC and being mono light. Literally, the only thing SETY has over Sias is his extra movement star and 2 leadership stars. What a letdown. Now, SETY, on the other hand, is grade A premium badass. Why? Fucking Whole City. It's just overpowered as all hell with plus 20 skill and speed, 20 might, and 30 crit. Mathematically, a SETY with max magic and skill is literally incapable of not killing anyone in the game aside from Rydrick or an enemy over 20 magic with 1 round of Whole City, barring a 1% miss or an inexplicable big shield trigger. If that weren't enough, SETY also has a wind, staffs, light, and fire, allowing him to use almost all of the cool mage toys, as well as a nice leadership star and 2 move stars. Without a doubt, SETY is the most powerful unit in the game, and you'll need him for the trials you're going to face, and probably a repair use on his Whole City since you'll be using it so much. Maybe if Sias kept his 10 stars, the debate would be more balanced, but seriously, just take SETY. Anyway, the reason you want Sias alive in this chapter is by speaking to him with Leaf, or just finishing the chapter, he'll give Leaf the Blaggy Sword. It's basically required to kill Ryjek without some crazy reverse stealing and thief staff shenanigans, because it nullifies the effect of his personal weapon, is super effective on armors, and also negates Great Shield. Oh, and it gives the wielder prayer, just because. However, it isn't actually specific to Leaf. It's stated that anyone with Holy Blood can use it, and aside from Leaf, that includes Nana and Delmud, who can wield it just fine. But, bizarrely, Fergus can use it, but not Marita and a unit you'll get next chapter, who canonically have Odo Blood. Weird. With all that out of the way, just seize the throne, and I'll see you later with chapter 24, which has status staffs. Status staffs everywhere. Thanks for watching.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I feel like I have no choice but to... Join Smash! What are you doing? Sorry, big brother. I've made my decision. Giving up on us and battling completely unknown opponents.
They look tough. Not a problem for my big brother.
Nacho Blade is taking on a form I've never seen.
Oh, that looks painful.
He's using Dragon Fang. The power of the first dragon.